Bear eat cocaine. Bear kill people. Alright, so this review is going to be quick as shit. I'm filming it on my lunch break. And it's going to be quick because there is not much to talk about when it comes to this movie. This movie pretty much explains itself. Bear eats cocaine, bear kills people. That's pretty much it. So this movie is directed by Elizabeth Banks, who blamed her last shit show of a film, the Charlie's Angels remake, on sexism because, you know, men and women both weren't fans of the original Charlie's Angels. We just didn't like this new one because women. Okay.
The message.
I'm happy to report she actually did a decent job directing this movie. So the movie was shot well. Most of the scenes were filmed well. A lot of aerial shots of this forest, which made it look really good. But I found myself bored, believe it or not, throughout this film. I'm not saying this film's bad because of the premise. It's not. It's fucking hilarious. When I first saw this trailer, I thought, you know, a bear on cocaine, that is hilarious. It stems from a true story, apparently. But this film didn't know what it wanted to be. It was marketed as like a comedy, but it was sort of a comedy, horror, sort of in between. There's moments of real brutality where this bear is like fucking destroying people, but then they're still cracking jokes at the same time, and the jokes were just not landing for me. And in terms of the characters, they try and tell a few side stories. One with a mother trying to look for a daughter who was taken by the bear. Another, Ray Liotta's like a king drug dealer, and his son doesn't want to be a part of it, and he's depressed about his wife leaving him or something, and he's crying the entire movie. I did not give two shits about any of these stories. All I wanted to see was this bear on coke. That was literally it. So when you'd skip from the bear to these characters trying to bond and develop, I just did not care. I could see what they were going for, but it just didn't work for me. The performances were all good. I'm not complaining about that at all. It's just the way these characters were written. I just didn't give a shit. There were a few really fucking awesome moments in this movie. In particular, a chase scene with an ambulance. I think this scene's in the trailer. But basically this bear's fucking gunning after this ambulance, and there's this fucking amazing song playing. That scene was done so well, but then straight after, you're back to this character development, and again, I did not care. Budget to this movie is a reported $30 million, and I don't see where all of that went, considering half of the kills from this bear are sort of off screen. Like, you'll sort of see the lower half of people's bodies, but the bear's going at the head. There is definitely brutal scenes in this movie that are graphic, but only half of them are like that. I think maybe they ran out of budget, or they wanted to CGI half of it, because I could tell most of it wasn't practical effects. Like, there's a part at the end of the movie, a particular character gets his guts ripped out, and it literally looked like fucking spaghetti noodles. And then he falls off a cliff, and he looked like full fucking test crash dummy action. In terms of the bear, they made it look pretty good. I didn't see a time where I said, yeah, that bear looks fake as shit. In scenes where it was a bit darker, I could see it a little bit, but in the light, the bear actually looked pretty good. One thing that annoyed the absolute shit out of me was the music. It had this 80s theme, and it was awesome, but it sounded like the exact same song replayed throughout the fucking entire movie. Every single scene had this same song. I don't know if it was the same song, but they all sounded exactly the same. This was Ray Liotta's last film. He actually did a good job in the movie. His performance was great. His character was probably the most interesting one in the film, and he had, I think, the least dialogue out of any of them. Look, this movie's basically given away in the trailer. It's a bear on cocaine, goes around killing people. I did have a decent time. I'm not saying the movie was terrible. It wasn't terrible at all, but it was very average. I don't know what I expected from this. I think my hopes were a bit too high for a movie like this. I mean, it had some serious fucking marketing. Like, Bruce Buffer was announcing it at the UFC before fucking Volk and Islam went to kill each other.
Cocaine Bear! Get tickets now to see Cocaine Bear in theaters February 24.
Can you have a good time with this? Yes. Is it amazing? No. It's a very average film. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10.
Mid!
Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.